Well, after conceding the highest ever total in the history of the HBL PSL, Islamabad United had no answers for the Quetta Gladiators. The scoreboard pressure was far too monumental a task for United to conquer. 109-run win to the Quetta Gladiators. 5 on the bounce now for the men in purple. It was such a comprehensive victory by them, and they seal themselves a top 2 position in this year's edition of the tournament. Serviv embracing Riley Russo there, one of the leading run scorers as we get confirmation of the match summary. Russo, 104 of just 46 balls, followed by the youngster Hassan Navaz, 100 red ink off 45 balls. Saud Shakil, a couple of runs there, but all United, they could not do anything against the Quetta Gladiators bowlers. Mohammad Amir, 3 for 6 off 2. Abrar Ahmed, the magician, 2 for 17. Wasim Jr. tipped in, but in the end, it was such a comprehensive victory to the Quetta Gladiators, winning by 109 runs. Well, what does that do to our standings? It sends Quetta straight to the top of the table, sitting pretty out and out, 3 points ahead of second, and look at that net run rate. Islamabad United slipping into third with only one more game left to play behind Karachi Kings. What will that do to their playoff contention? Hello and welcome to the Pitchside Studio. What an explosive game of HBL PSL we've just seen here at the Pindi Cricket Stadium. Quetta Gladiators, they upset the home side Islamabad United in a massive way, and one of the lead destroyers with the ball is here to chat through it all alongside me, Mohammad Amir, and of course Amir Sahel. Bahut shukriya for joining us. I know you have your Urdu translator alongside, but first and foremost, I mean, 3 for 6 in your first game back after being ill for a couple of games. How's the body feel?
जिस स्टेज पे अब मैं हूँ थोड़ा सा टाइट तो हूँ क्योंकि बीमारी के बाद थोड़ा आसान नहीं होता, बट आई वाज स्ट्रगलिंग टू बी ऑनेस्ट बिकॉज आई वाज ऑन द एंटीबायोटिक्स फ्रॉम लास्ट 3-4 डेज. तो लेकिन ये है कि अच्छा फील हो रहा है क्योंकि हमारे लिए मस्ट विन गेम था कि टॉप 2 पे फिनिश करना है, और ये अच्छी चीज़ है कि हमने टॉप 2 पे फिनिश किया. अब मैं नेक्स्ट गेम रेस्ट कर सकता हूँ.
आमिर, आज आपकी बॉलिंग में मैंने एक चीज़ जो है वो नोटिस की कि जब भी आप गेंद पीछे फेंकते हो तो आप अपना जो एक्शन है वो बहुत ज़्यादा लो कर लेते हो. क्या वजह है?
मुझे लगता है आमिर भाई, क्योंकि ये एक नई चीज़ मैं डेवलप कर रहा हूँ कि जब बाउंसर करते हो ना आप, जब आप हाई आर्म करते हो, मुझे लगता है कि बैट्समैन को वो दूर से नज़र आ जाता है. मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा सा अगर मैं बेंड होकर करता हूँ कि जो मेरी रिस्ट है वो अच्छी लगती है, तो जो हाइट है उसकी वो ये ना जाए उसको खेलना पड़े इस हाइट पे, तो मुझे लगता है वो मुश्किल होता है और टाइम कम होता है बैट्समैन को चेक करने की.
क्या उसमें ये भी सोच है कि अगर आप बहुत नीचे जाके बाउंसर करते हो तो बैट्समैन को लगता है वो बहुत ज़्यादा पीछे गिरा हुआ है और वो होता नहीं है?
उनको यही लगता है कि, और मुझे लगता है कि स्किट भी होता है बैट्समैन के पास टाइम. मुझे लगता है कि जब स्पिनर्स को अगर आप देखेंगे लगी जब यहाँ से बॉल करता है और यहाँ से बॉल करता है तो बहुत टाइम होता है, यहाँ से बॉल नज़र आता है, यहाँ से कम टाइम होता है चेक करने का. मुझे लगता है बाउंसर में भी ये मैंने सोचा कि यार ये करके देखते हैं क्योंकि टाइम कम हो कि उसको दूर से बजाय नज़र आने के उसके पास टाइम कम हो चेक करने का.
अच्छा, आप ये कह रहे हो कि जू आप बड़े हो रहे हो, अकल आती जा रही है.
ऐसे ही होता है क्रिकेट में, तो आपको पता है नई चीज़ें सीखनी चाहिए.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. अब आप थोड़ा सा मैच के बारे में बात करते हैं कि आपकी बॉलिंग तो आपको मैच जितवा रही थी, लेकिन बैटिंग में छोटी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस थी. अब तो बड़ी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन आनी शुरू हो गई है, तो टीम का जो मोराल और जो कॉन्फिडेंस है वो किधर गया?
बिल्कुल आपने सही कहा है क्योंकि बैटिंग हमारे लिए बहुत एक इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल था, क्योंकि अगर आप हमारी ओवरऑल बैटिंग ऑर्डर देखें तो सारे एक्सप्लोसिव बैट्समैन हैं T20 के. रायली, चैपमैन, फिन एलन, कुशाल मेंडेस, और रायली हमारे लिए बहुत एक इम्पॉर्टेंट प्लेयर है, बैकबोन है टीम की. उसके रन्स करना बहुत ज़रूरी थे, लेकिन उसने ऐसे मौके पे किए हैं क्योंकि मस्ट विन था कि हमने टॉप 2 पे, आपको पता है कि फ़ायदा होता है टॉप 2 पे फिनिश करना और बैटिंग में इस तरह क्लिक करना. मुझे लगता है कि कमिंग मैचेस में और राइट एट द आप देख ले जो टूर्नामेंट का इस टाइम सिचुएशन है, इस टाइम पे बैटिंग का क्लिक करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था.
Looks like you're definitely peaking at the right moment as well after losing. Yes,
yeah?
I do understand more than you think. But, you know, considering we only saw you bowl 2 overs today, ਦੋ overs, and you got 10 wickets.
Yes.
But we got to see another 6 bowlers other than yourself actually make an impact. Once you knew you had the game in the bag, was that a calculated move to give you a little bit of a rest and give some other guys some overs and some chances?
Yeah, even though I was telling to South के जो हमारे मेन बॉलर्स हैं उनको ना करवाओ क्योंकि आगे फिर मैचेस हैं, फिर हमारे लड़के जो खुरम है, वसीम है, ये रेगुलर खेलते आ रहे हैं, दे ऑल्सो नीड अ रेस्ट. तो वो साउथ का यही था कि आई टोल्ड हिम कि आई डोंट वांट टू बॉल एनी मोर, इफ़ यू नीड इट देन लेट मी नो. बट आई थिंक जो खुरम ने या वसीम ने, फ़हीम, थ्रू आउट द टूर्नामेंट दे आर बॉलिंग वेरी वेल.
जब से वसीम टीम में आया है आपकी बॉलिंग में कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत ज़्यादा आया है. खुरम अच्छी बॉलिंग कर रहे थे, लेकिन क्या आप तीसरा फास्ट बॉलर मिस कर रहे थे?
बिल्कुल मिस कर रहे थे. और मुझे लगता है कि इब्रार के साथ मिडल ओवर्स में एक हमें बॉलर चाहिए था कि जो विकेट भी ले सके और कंटेन भी करे. और वसीम वो अच्छा रोल अदा कर रहा है, और जिस तरह वो डेथ में भी बॉलिंग कर रहा है. फिर फ़हीम का भी बड़ा हमें एज है कि बैटिंग का भी बीच में हमें 2-3 ओवर निकाल देता है. अगर आप एज अ बॉलिंग यूनिट भी अगर आप बात करें तो हम एज अ बॉलिंग यूनिट भी इन फॉर्म है.
Quite a selfless act almost, Amir, because he could have potentially gotten our second fifer of the season. Fahim Ashraf obviously already got one. You're bowling so well. But I want to ask you what impressed you most about what Amir managed to do on an absolute road in Pindi. None of the bowlers could find a way for United, yet he comes in and strikes straight away.
Look, he psyched out the batters. You know, when he saw Khurram Shahzad being hit through point and covers, he suddenly realized that they are looking for some room. And he immediately went round the stumps. And he just closed the angle for the batters and made it very difficult for them. And then he's been using those bouncers and slow deliveries, which brings surprise to for the batters. And once, as a bowler, you refuse to be predictable against batters, then you have a chance to prevail.
I love how feisty you are as a bowler as well. It means so much to you even after playing so many HBL PSLs this year. What excites you about the prospect of the Gladiators maybe going all the way this year?
मेरे लिए तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट है कि मैं हमेशा मेरी कोशिश होती है कि मैं टीम को आगे रखूं. और मेन गोल जो है हमारा वो है टाइटल जीतना, और उसी के लिए हम सारे जान मारे. और मैं हमेशा बिलीव करता हूँ कि क्रिकेट खेलनी है तो फिर दिल से खेलनी है, अदरवाइज़ टाइम वेस्ट करने का फ़ायदा नहीं है. जैसे आपने विकेट की भी बात की, मैं एज अ बॉलर हमेशा ये बिलीव करता हूँ कि चाहे जितना मर्जी है बैटिंग विकेट है, कहीं ना कहीं आपको विकेट कुछ ना कुछ एज अ बॉलर देता है. चाहे शायद लेंथ बॉल नीचे रह रहा हो, या कटर शायद ग्रिप कर रहा हो, या बाउंसर फंस रहा हो, तो मैं कहीं ना कहीं हमेशा एज अ बॉलर भी ये नोट करता रहता हूँ कि इस विकेट पे क्या स्टॉक बॉल हो सकता है. तो एज अ बॉलर मेरी हमेशा ये थॉट होता है.
तो आप देखते हो जब पहली इनिंग्स हो रही होती है और आपकी टीम बैटिंग करती है तो क्या करना है मुझे?
110% मैं हमेशा बैठ के ये नोट कर रहा हूँ कि इस विकेट पे क्या स्टॉक बॉल हो सकता है. इवन जब मैं शॉर्ट फाइन या थर्ड मैन भी खड़ा होता हूँ और बैट्समैन को देख रहा होता हूँ और बॉलर को कि ये कौन सी बॉल पे इस टाइम स्ट्रगल कर रहा है, तो मैं हमेशा उसको रियलाइज़ करने की कोशिश करता हूँ कि मुझे लगता है कि इस टाइम मुझे ये बॉल करने की ज़रूरत है.
It's such a wonderful thing to see Mohammad Amir in full flight, but how awesome is it to see the great man Sir Vivian Richards in full flight with the fist pumps and the celebrations? Like, what does he bring to the team room really? Because the role of a mentor, I can't really get my head around it sometimes, Amir, but then you see someone like Sir Viv and he's so involved with you all.
I think he brings a great energy, great environment. और मुझे लगता है कि एज अ प्लेयर बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि ड्रेसिंग रूम का इन्वायरमेंट कैसा है. क्योंकि आप वो जो माहौल होता है या इन्वायरमेंट होता है ड्रेसिंग रूम का, मैं हमेशा बिलीव करता हूँ वो आप ग्राउंड में लेके जाते हो. और सर विव को ये क्रेडिट जाता है कि जो एनर्जी या वो जो एक पॉजिटिव एनर्जी लेके आते हैं ड्रेसिंग रूम में, उसका बहुत बड़ा रोल है.
You know, in his playing days, he was so invested and so engaged.
Yeah.
And now, as a mentor, it's still the same. He's still passionate about the game. He's engaged. He's invested. He has everybody engaged. So it's so good to see.
Talk about your youngsters as well. Just before we let you go, Hassan Nawaz. I mean, that was pretty epic. I could see your reactions as well in the dugout, just watching him go about his business. Are you impressed by him?
Oh. बाय फार आई थिंक, क्योंकि हमारे यंगस्टर्स इस तरह परफॉर्म करें. हमारी क्रिकेट, पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि यंगस्टर्स रन्स कर रहे हैं. और स्पेशली हसन, ही प्लेड रियली वेल इन द लास्ट गेम. आज भी उसने 100 किया. तो ये हमारी क्रिकेट के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है, पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट के लिए. जितने भी और यंगस्टर्स हैं, खुशी होती है कि वो परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं. और हसन जिस तरह कर रहा है, इवन जिस तरह खुरम कर रहा है, तो ये यंगस्टर्स को आगे आना चाहिए. पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Well, बहुत शुक्रिया for your time. I'll let you go celebrate with your dost, Mohammad Amir.
Thank you. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten.
Go and eat something, refuel.
Thank you,
Congratulations on a massive win.
Well done.
Appreciate your time.
Well done.
Oh, what a superstar he is, Mohammad Amir, with the ball for the Quetta Gladiators. We are off to a very short break here as he is definitely making his way towards the gunner in the dressing room, walking in front of the camera there. Do stay with us though, because we're going to deep dive all of the action we've just seen here at the Pindi Cricket Stadium. Back very shortly. Welcome back to the pitchside studio, celebrating an emphatic win to the Quetta Gladiators across Islamabad United. A huge 109-run win to be in fact. And I've got Martin Guptill now and Waqar Younis alongside me to chat through all the action that we've just seen. And Guppy, first and foremost, talk about winning, but winning in that sort of a manner. How impressive a performance was that by Quetta?
It certainly sends a message to the rest of the competition, doesn't it, that we're here to play, we're here to win, and they have turned their season around. It was a little bit indifferent at the start, but 5 wins in a row, you're peaking at the right time towards the finals, and they've qualified top 2 now, so they get that extra bite of the cherry. So they win their first final, they're through, they're to the big dance.
5 is a bad number when you're winning 5 in a row. You saw Islamabad United, so.
Yes, but they also had a week off after that, though, didn't they? See, Quetta don't. They're straight through, eh?
No, I'm just kidding. Quetta has been excellent. I mean, they're playing good cricket. It's not that they won 5 and they're bound to lose another one. Even if they lose, it does not really make any difference because they're in the top 2 now. So they are a very, very good side, very balanced side. They have got their all bases covered. They have their batting in line and they are in form. And then when you go to their bowling, Amir, although didn't complete his quota of bowling, seemed junior. I mean, they've been just superb with the Brar in the middle, with the spin. Where would you go? I mean, they're a superb side.
Do you think they missed a trick, United winning the toss and choosing to chase in that situation, knowing the stats tell you that runs on the ball when they're big runs is the way to go?
No. I mean, here in Rawalpindi, if you have a look at the history, I mean, 240, 230 is being chased. I mean, once you give over 250, then you got no chance. And the team is not playing well. If you're playing well, then you can still challenge this sort of total, but playing poor cricket, Islamabad United.
Would you agree with that, Gup?
Yeah, 100%. If they're in with a chance. I mean, anything's possible in this game of cricket that we play, but they're just not getting those partnerships with the bat, and it has been since they've had their break. The top order hasn't been firing, they haven't been doing their job, and they'll understand that, they'll know that, and they'll want to rectify that for their last game because they'll want a little bit of momentum, heading into the finals series.
As Waqar rightly said, there were so many incredible personal performances. It was so hard to decide on who the player of the match was, and this is quite a contentious topic, but let's take a little look at the innings of the person who was crowned player of the match.
Although my heart is broken, it's not that I didn't enjoy Riley Rasu's batting. I am a big fan of Riley when he's playing really well, when he's on song, he's unstoppable. He plays paces really good and equally plays the spinners really well. This was tailor-made situation for him, and he came with the mind that he's gonna smoke everything.
Okay, let's just clarify what you just said then. It broke your heart because you thought that Hassan Nawaz, the youngster, he got his 100 and just one more ball rather than Riley Russo should have taken the award.
Look, it's not about less balls or more balls. It's about, youngster finishing, the finishing touch he gave. He hit 9 sixes. Riley hit 6 sixes. So, there's a clear difference that he is a good striker of the ball. If he wouldn't have been there, they would have never gotten to, the runs they got. I understand you, the way you're looking at me, Guppy, that Riley has just given the start, the what they were looking for, but the finishing touch from young Hassan, who's very new at this arena, and that was just amazing to see.
22 years of age, the youngster Guppy. Would you have given it to him, or do you agree with Riley?
I agreed with giving it to Riley. He set the whole game up. As Hazy said on the TV, it was set up by him. He controlled the innings and got it to a point where Nawaz could just go and have some fun at the end. And if Riley had gotten out, it could have been a completely different game. But, the way that they controlled that partnership through the early stages when Nawaz came in, then through the middle, and then they were able to get 160 runs off the last 10 overs. That's an incredible effort. And it wasn't just one man, it was 2 men that did the job.
Well, Waqar, you're a bowler as well. I'm going to be devil's advocate here. What if Muhammad Amir got a 5 or 6 Is that enough to upset one of the Centurions?
No, still Hassan Nawaz.
From a
for me.
bowler, that's impressive.
Still Hassan Nawaz for me because that knock was something very special. Look, Mike Hazeman really had a long debate with me on air, but yeah, I mean, when 2 against 1, it gets a little bit tougher at times. But I'll get back to them.
Well, look, so much said about the youngster. It was an absolutely brilliant innings by him, bringing up the 100, the very last ball of the innings. Let's relive the super sixes he scored.
He was impressive right from the get-go today, Nawaz.
Watch that, Guppy. Watch that.
I'm watching it, don't you worry, Waka, and I'm impressed. He's following on from his innings the other night where he took the game away from Islamabad again, and this time he had a partnership with a senior player who played a brilliant innings, and he just took over. He took the initiative at the end and said, it's my time to finish the innings off, and he struck the ball with such power, and it wasn't to just one area of the ground, it was all over the place. Yes, he got some balls to hit, but he still had to hit them, and he did that so with immense power and skill.
Just look at that celebration.
So Guppy agrees with me, isn't it? Kind of.
I don't think it was ever a question that it wasn't an incredible innings.
The way he was just talking about his inning, isn't it?
Oh, but just look at the emotion on the young man's face. Just when he managed to get that 100 done, a couple of little nervous dot balls in that final over, but he had the presence of mind and the maturity to get through it. Is this good signs?
Those were wides. You know what I mean? If you go
You're
back
a
and have
bowler
a
too.
look.
I thought you would say they were inside. And
No, look, we're just kidding, having a laugh. But I mean, both innings were just outstanding. I mean, it doesn't matter who you give. I would have given maybe both of them because it was very, very special from both of them in the winning cause and putting Quetta Gladiator in a situation where we all becoming their big fan because, they got all bases covered, as I said.
And importantly, how important is a knock like this, or now a few consistently fantastic knocks, important for Pakistan cricket?
Yes, I mean, he scored 144 deliveries in the past in New Zealand on a very, very difficult pitches. So, he's one for the future. I always said that he plays for my team who I mentor.
A little bit of bias coming in, is it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But he did score here when we played at the domestic tournament, and he scored a couple of 70s, and he looked like someone who belongs to top cricket, and he's got fast hands, gets deep in the crease and hits it straight nicely, hits over extra cover. So he's definitely, selectors should keep an eye on him and let him mature. I think he's not only T20 cricket, but one-day cricket also. He can be very, very useful.
Do you think he's got the skill and the temperament to be able to play all around the world, Guppy? We've already seen, obviously, success in New Zealand and now here in Pakistan.
yeah, he's got the game for it so far. I mean, I'm sure he's got plenty to learn. I don't know him personally, but as cricketers, we've always got something to learn. And as a young kid, I'm sure he's hungry to learn and hungry for more, and just really wants to score runs and do well. So, I'm sure he's got a bright future, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
We have plenty more coming on the other side here at the Pitchside Studio, so do not go anywhere. We'll catch you shortly. Well, it's a massive congratulations to Quetta Gladiators, who had an emphatic 109-run win today over the hometown Islamabad United. United boys had absolutely no answer for a raging Quetta Gladiators, as we now welcome in Dominic Corkin to the Pitchside Studio. And Corky, at 68 for 8, it could have been an even earlier night than it was, but what did you make of what a impressive performance that was by Quetta?
Yeah, I'm really glad I went for Islamabad United to win at the top. That was not good. Waka, I don't know whether you know that. Myself and Martin Gupta went for Islamabad.
Wrong.
We were wrong.
This is not the first time.
No. But what I did get right was I knew it was going to be a decent surface, and I think that's where it was. But it's all right saying it's a decent surface, but to then actually put that pressure on Riley Rousseau was excellent. I'm not so sure about the bowling. I know we talked a little bit off air. I don't get some of the bowling. Sometimes I just think when you're bowling, and you know better than anybody, bowling length deliveries, you're just going to get hit. Pace on length deliveries. Surely it's got to be trying to get them Yorkers in a little bit more often.
Yeah, I think the missing bit in their bowling lineup was the pace. They did not have anyone who bowls 145. Although on the other side, when you look at Quetta with Wasim Jr., he pushes the ball. Even Khurram Shahzad also can touch 140. The Islamabad United paces were medium paces. Yes, they get extra bounce, but not here. They got that extra bounce in Lahore. Lahore was a different pitch. This is flat and slow. So you can hit through the line. That is why they struggled, and they didn't have a regular spinner. They gave ball to Imad Wasim to start off. I thought that was a poor strategy. With the white ball, okay, it's just maybe 2 overs, max 3 overs. That if you have something in there, and Naseem Shah also became very ordinary after that once the ball was gone over.
Well, just on that point, Naseem Shah, Jason Holder, and Ben Dwarshuis, their out-and-out paces all went for over 15. And over each one. No one managed to find any respite there. Over 50 runs, I think, as well as a whole. So, if that was you and I was throwing you the ball, would you just be toe crusher after toe crusher on that wicket, or what was the right way to attack that today?
Look, I'm not gonna say this game only, but even earlier when I saw the Lahore's game the other night, when Shaheen and Haris were bowling. I mean, I do not understand. They needed 50 of 3 overs, and you just throwing the ball in their zone asking for trouble. And that's exactly what happened. Nobody really had the plans to sort of how are we going to survive. Okay, they got a good start. Guys are in good form. Just go around the wicket, bowl one side of the pitch. At least you can do. Okay, if you get hit for 4 or 6, fine. But if you're just exposed to both sides of the pitch and behind, you're done.
Erin, we're not sitting here thinking that it's easy out there. We're not. We've been in situations, obviously, wow, we're talking about one of the greatest ever here. I'm not trying to put myself in the same category as Waqar Younis.
You can do that.
No. Absolutely, I'm not. One of the best. What we're trying to say is the fact that, and he's been head coach of Pakistan, he's been bowling coach, I've done a bit of coaching as well. You can't always do it right. Things are going to go wrong.
What were they intending to do then? Because
that's what we're saying. Is I don't think their clear plans are when they're under pressure. Is you want a bowler to be able to say, right, I'm going to try and shut down one area. I'm going to bowl to a certain specific field, and I'm going to say, right, you want to hit me out the park, you're going to have to do it from here. What we're saying, I think, is, and obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're looking at quality international bowlers, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Ralph, people who know how to bowl at the death, right? At the end, to see a game out, he did it with Wasim constantly. Set your plan, execute it. It doesn't always go right. But if you've got a clear plan, okay, who's batting, where can he hit me, where can't he hit me? And to me, what I'm finding is, and I don't know whether it's bowling coaches telling them, whether they're being stubborn in their own heads, come on, guys. Keep it simple. You don't have to bowl 6 different deliveries every over, and that's all we're saying.
I think the prime example, because it's T20 cricket, I hardly played a very little T20 cricket. T20 cricket, you have to be smarter than what you do in one-day cricket or test match cricket, and the prime example here is, Mohammad Amir. He if he is in trouble, he'll cut one side down and he'll bowl slower ones, he'll bowl wide away from you, or he'll do Yorkers, odd bouncer. He'll do things, he'll make the batter think. But what I've seen in the last few games, I don't know, it's just the ego thing, that, okay, because I'm fast, I can go through them. It doesn't happen now. Pitch is flat and grounds are small and ball flies.
And, you were known for getting it up in the block hole. Your Yorkers were exceptional. But nowadays, these batters are ramping and carrying on and playing all different kinds of shots, trying to negate that delivery.
I'm going to answer that question before he does.
Okay.
Until they do it, bowl Yorkers.
Yeah.
If somebody had done that, well, they didn't do it to him.
But
if someone went down to him, he'd then have a decision to make. If someone like Jos Buttler or whoever ramps him, or Dilshan with his scoop, then he's got a decision to make. The difference is he was 95 miles an hour. There's a bit of a difference. But then as a bowler, if a batter does that to you, then you change. I don't see enough of this to warrant these bowlers
Not giving
bowling
it a
length
go.
deliveries, bowling out the back of the hand on flat tracks. Okay, that's a great surface to bat on, and I'm not trying to sit here and justify that they should have not got to 263. But to me, I just find that the bowling becomes so predictable, and it's like, accept it. It's like that doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter? That is your job.
Yeah.
Your job is in the power play to take wickets. If you're not taking wickets, cut down boundaries. And at the end, your job is, guess what? Is defend whatever's set for you. 15 off the last over. Do you think Waqar Yunis or Wasim Akram would have allowed that to happen?
Would have given you 4.
So that to me is the difference. I think it's the mentality as the bowlers is you've got to take that challenge on whatever surface it is. Take that challenge on and do it. But take nothing away from the Gladiators. They were excellent tonight.
And the sad bit is these guys are international bowlers. They're not somebody young who can say, okay, he's a youngster, still learning. That's why he got it wrong. Okay, keep giving him opportunity. These guys are seasoned. They played they've been playing for the last good 5, 6, 7 years now. So they got to learn to just how to win games. To win games, you have to come with strategies.
There was a lot of food for thought there for the entire Islamabad United batting and bowling unit. But one man that certainly played the bowling unit pay was a certain Riley Russo. He was unbelievable with his hitting today. Let's have a look at the many boundaries that he managed to hit.
It all started from the word go, wasn't it? It was just the first delivery, and this was amazing.
With a shoulder.
I mean, I've not seen a shot like that, but he's. I don't know if you guys remember. He said it in one of the interviews. He said, "I'm due for 100. I'm gonna get 100 this year." And here we go, getting 100 at the right time. You know, they need him to just kick on, and he's kicked on beautifully.
Yeah, he was brilliant. 14 fours and 6 sixes, Corky, particularly through those middle overs. Nawaz and Aliaga got absolutely punished. Those middle overs just got away from them.
The one thing I think they missed out on with him early on is he struggles early on against spin. Now, it would have been a gamble on that surface to go with spin.
At 67.
67 strike rate against 200 against pace. And you could see as soon as the spin came on, it was probably a little bit too late. But look, Riley Russo is a sort of player where you're surprised when he doesn't do well. I know he hit in the SA20, he didn't have a great tournament there. And he struggled a little bit here. But for somebody who can play all the way round, and it's the first time we saw a ramp shot, I know I said until someone does that, that's a great shot. It's when he does that, it's brilliant. And, you know, if he kicks on now, they've got a chance of winning this tournament.
Oh, you talk about Mohammad Amir and how brilliant he was with the new ball. He was absolutely the turning point this evening.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I mean, throughout the tournament, he's been sick in the last couple of games. We look at the first delivery to Myers, and it was spot on and bowling nice and straight. And this one again, just hitting into the surface early on. He knew that he struggles against the short ball.
Yeah, 2 for 2 up the top with the new ball in his first over. Just unplayable this evening. We know just how good he is. But Islamabad United, well, the wickets fell and they fell very quickly. Let's relive just exactly how the story of the game went in that second innings.
Look, as a bowling unit, you know you're in box seat when you're trying to defend that, but you still need to turn up, set the tone. And that's what Mohammad Amir does. Hasn't got the pace that he used to have, but he's a clever bowler. Look how he goes round the wicket and then cuts it. It's good catch. Mohammad Wasim Jr., good hands. And then because they're always behind, they've got to keep going. And that's what I've liked about Islamabad, I should say Quetta, is the fact that they've taken wickets, they've caught well, they're fielding well. You can just sense that they're building quite nicely coming towards the end of the group stage and then into the playoffs. That's another beautiful catch taken by Mohammad Wasim Jr. and even full tosses were getting wickets, and that's just the pressure that was built from that innings of getting 200, the highest, 263, the highest ever score, and even towards the end, You know, they just couldn't get it over these short boundaries. All in all, Quetta, absolutely superb.
Stellar stuff from the entirety of the Quetta Gladiators today. We're off to one more short break here in the pitchside studio, but you're going to want to stick around just a little longer because we're going to preview Bubba taking on Warner tomorrow night. Well, records were shattered here at the Pindi Cricket Stadium today. 263 scored by the Quetta Gladiators, the largest ever in the history of the comp. It was a 109-run win to the Quetta Gladiators. And what does that do to the standings, Waka? It makes the playoffs very interesting.
I know. It is very
Good luck
interesting.
explaining this one, Waka.
Look, you got to help me in there.
I think I can give you one thing. The Lahore Qalandars, I don't think, can get in that top two. I might be wrong.
I'm worried about them getting out of there.
Yeah.
You know the thing is, Quetta Gladiator very clear. The rest of the Multan is out. The next 4 teams, they can all go out or even get to the top 2 and also can qualify. I think the biggest game will be Lahore Qalandar versus Peshawar Zalmi. That's the key one because Peshawar's got 2 games. If they win both, they can go in the top 2. But if they win against Lahore Qalandar, they still qualify, and Lahore Qalandar can slip down and get out.
Do you know when you listen to all that, what it is do not miss a game. Don't miss a game because there's so many games coming your way, no bigger than ones that are coming tomorrow.
Yeah, every game means so much at the moment. But just before we look ahead to tomorrow's match, the fielding was absolutely sensational by Islamabad United. By Quetta Gladiators, sorry, I have to say. Let's take a little look at the safe hands of the night.
Yeah, Mohammad Wasim Jr., who had a great day in the field, not only with the bat but with the hands also. Brilliant catch. It was going away from him, and he had to grab it on the second attempt. Beautiful.
Yeah, 10 catches for Mohammad Wasim Jr. there, but he wasn't the only one that had some safe hands. Let's have a look at the refreshing moment. Someone in the crowd.
Massive shot. This is huge. Just watch the hands in the crowd. Have a look at that. You beauty.
What a catch.
This is what you want, Waka. Look at this.
And that was a big hit. It was a long way.
What
Not
we'd
many
say in
has caught
Australia,
in the field like that.
we'd say that, how's the techers on it?
Good techers.
It was a pretty foolproof performance by the Quetta Gladiators today. They've definitely qualified in the top 2, so congratulations to them and all of their fans. I'll be very excited to see where this takes them now heading into the playoffs, but we have a massive match tomorrow, gentlemen. It's 2 of the biggest in international cricket, Bubba Azam and David Warner.
2 sensational players, and let's just remind you, wherever he goes on the left, people turn up to see Bubba Azam, and Warner has shown throughout his career, wow, when he gets in form, this could be a great game, these 2.
He hasn't had a great season so far, but he is one of those batters. He can really kick off, and this is the time for him to shine.
That's so exciting, that match. It's coming up tomorrow night. You're not going to want to miss that. Imagine what the likes of Bubba Azam and David Warner can do on that absolute batter's paradise behind me. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
What a night. Congratulations to Quetta, but there's still so much to play for at HBL PSL 10. Mahot Shukriya for joining us. We will see you tomorrow night.